answering your question about like what will happen if we will make a game where players will always win. It's not something that players will enjoy actually, really.
Hey Andrey, what's all these cockroaches in your room?
Hello guys, so this is actually our stand here at ICE. This time we go a little bit crazy with all the cockroach stuff. We had really great marketing campaign going on LinkedIn. And we decided to do the stand the same way we did this campaign.
Okay, and when you say we are talking about Endorphina, of course. It hasn't been mentioned. Okay, so there is a game related to all these cockroaches, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So we recently decided to create the game dedicated to the whole idea of this booth, this size. It's about cockroaches. It's our great new game. It's currently in pre-release, but it will be released very soon, in a couple of weeks. The game is actually, as you can guess, about cockroaches. It has 3 different bonuses, so it should be a great game. We expect a lot of performance from it.
And what was the idea behind this game? Why did you decide this theme?
So when we were thinking about how we can do something new for the expo in general and for our booth, we came up with this like a little bit crazy idea about cockroaches, and we just thought it's super cool because no one never did this something like this. So and basically we were thinking about it when we were creating the game. The game itself is uh, actually just 3 guys. Yes, they are cockroaches, but they're just cool guys, right? They love to fight, so and they have some great like expectations of what's going on with them in the future. So in this game, you will be able to see like 3 different bonuses, all connected to reach and cool future for each of those guys. So yeah, this is what we were thinking about when we were creating the game.
And is the idea coming from, or any of the game aspects coming from user feedback, or is it like all your own ideas?
So, this is a great question, actually. Always when you are creating a game, you think about user at the first place, right? So you think what our customers, our players are expecting from us. And at the same time, you need to do something new, right? Something cool. And when we are thinking about bonuses in the game or in general, like mathematics of the game or everything behind the like facade of the game, we are thinking about what our players would love to use, right? Would love to play. So actually, we know that our players are accepting like 3 bonus games very well. It's like very interesting for them, and they love to play it. For this game, we took this like really cool mathematics that we know our players love, and put it in some really interesting environment of cockroaches, and we were like completely like crazy about like the theme, so we really loved it, and we think it would be really cool, so our players will love it as well.
So it's not like the players were demanding cockroaches, right?
Yeah, and it's not like exactly they're demanding it, but like sometimes you just like taking like an interesting theme and the thing you think would be interesting for players, and you make game out of it. So even if it's something very unusual, it's okay. I think like it can perform very well.
And this game is available or still in development?
This game currently available for some selected providers for 2 weeks, but like in 2 weeks, this game will be available everywhere.
Perfect. And there is one more game that I wanted to talk about, and that is Burning Hell.
Yes, sure.
Is that one of your games, or?
Yeah. Actually, Burning Hell was a game we were putting a lot of effort into. Actually, some games are being made pretty fast, like in a couple of months. But this game, Burning Hell, it took us a lot of time to create, actually, because we were thinking about the concept a lot, and we wanted to create some very special, very like unusual feel from this game. That it's like medium volatility game where like you can have 2 different bonuses, and we wanted to make everything right so you get the right feel from this game, so it will be uh, so our players will remember this game. So we will see how it will perform. But for now, it's performing quite well as well.
So what was this challenge about the game or the mechanics?
The main challenge about the game was to make everything look exactly as we wanted, to be honest, because um, sometimes when you have some idea and you need to explain it to designers, to the studio, to the guys who are making the art, everything, some things are just lost in translation, right? Like when it just happens. So sometimes it's quite challenging to put everything together exactly as we wanted to do it. But I think we did a great job, and our like studio made a great job like doing this game. So we are pretty happy with how it turned out.
It's not often the case that we can get a product owner of a gaming studio on camera, and for that reason, many of the viewers don't even know what is a product owner or what it does or what's the process of a game development. Let's imagine that I just joined as a intern or a junior product developer. How would you explain it to me?
Well, to be honest, it's like to be a good product manager, you should be like a jack of all trades a little bit. So you have to do a lot of stuff. You know, you should always know about like what your product. So you have to be, you have to know at least a little bit about marketing stuff. You have to know a lot about like games and how they feel. So it's probably the most important part to just feel the game and to understand like how players will accept it or and how they will like play it, like what feel will they get when they are playing the game. It's actually probably the most important stuff. And besides that, you have to be quite good at explaining different stuff to people who are actually creating the game, right? So you have to explain designers what you want to do. You have to explain to like math guy, right? How to like how this game should feel actually. So there is a lot of stuff going on actually on backstage. So you have to be a lot of things at the same time. Actually, it's a lot about how you communicate with people. So you have to explain exactly what you need from the game because sometimes people have like you can explain an idea, but sometimes people just have different view on how you can reach your goal, right? And this thing is can be quite challenging sometimes. So you need to talk a lot, you need to explain a lot, you have to argue sometimes a little bit, but you do everything to get the result you want.
So you are a product owner and you go to the mathematician and you say, the players ask me to win all the time. Can we do that?
Uh, yeah, kind of. Not, of course, it's not like that easy, right? Because we know like that game. I mean, even if player will win all the time from this game, it won't be interesting actually. It like, I mean, the whole idea of slot game is sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, right? So that's the main thing that we are working on, right? So slot should not always pay you. I mean, of course, players would love to get a lot of money out of every slot, obviously, but it's just like it's just not how it works actually. So sometimes you win something, sometimes you lose something, but the thing is like you always want to make player feel like they didn't waste their time. You want players to actually be interested in a game, be like enjoying the game. You want your players to be enjoying the game. So you want them to really feel like they're reaching some goals when they're playing the game. There is a lot of stuff going on backstage. Yeah.
So what do you enjoy most in your role?
Um, when the product that I've been working on is being released, and when I see that it's being played actually, and I see that guys like who are playing the game enjoy it, it's probably the most like satisfying thing in this job.
So actually, if I'm a player, how can I let Endorphina or you know that this game is really good or not so much?
Well, we have statistics for it.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you are asking people or survey or anything.
This is a great question. Actually, we are thinking about making some focus groups, some surveys to be carried out to find out what our players enjoying. But of course, the main thing you are getting is from all the stats we are gathering when players are playing the game. So
Okay, so it's like how long they were playing the game.
yeah, how many spins they do, what are their bets, like how much time they spent in the game, and all this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, okay. It's very similar to any games, not just like gambling type of games.
Actually, yeah. Like uh, previously, for example, like in the past, right? In the past, players like were playing slots and they were mostly enjoying the game itself. But this time, and like especially recently, we see that players demand more. So players want to have interesting bonus games. They want to have some process going on in the game besides just getting the wins. So answering your question about like what will happen if we will make a game where players will always win. It's not something that players will enjoy actually. Really, I mean, yeah, they will win, they will get some money, but if there is nothing in the process of it, it's just not interesting. You don't want to spend your time on it. And the thing is, probably recently we are going to focus more on bonus games. Of course, we are not abandoning our like core audience, right? Because we known as a classic slot provider mostly, but now we are going to try some new features in our games, and we will see how it will turn out.
Okay, so I know that storytelling is a type of thing that's been tried a couple of times. I personally don't know how they perform, but definitely like staging and progression features, it's something that's been appreciated for certain type of market.
Yeah, sure. So recently we are trying to do a lot of bonuses in our games. So we are trying to invent a mechanics where the more player play actually, the closer he gets to the bonus, and it works quite well because like it makes like you want to find out what's going on with the bonus. You want to get it, so you will find out like what's happening there. And this feel of finding out is actually sometimes even more important than like usual game. I mean, for some players, it definitely does.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, and what's the biggest challenge as a product owner that you are facing most of the time?
The most like challenging thing about product is to like take all the pieces you have, right, and make something interesting for a player out of it. So you want to make it not so boring for a player. You want to understand what your player actually wants. You always need to think actually about for whom are you making this game. Like, do you make this game for like your classical player, right, your core audience, for example, or do you want to try something new and make a game for like maybe more like modern, maybe more demanding audience, right? That wants to play some pretty challenging, like, or that wants to play uh, some deeper games, right? Some games where there is like a lot of stuff going on and all of this. So it can be quite challenging, and also quite challenging can be to actually limit yourself because you want to do a lot of stuff at the same time. You want to put everything inside the game, but obviously it's not realistic.
Yeah. And I also think as a product owner, at some point of your career, everybody faces of believing in something that's going to be a success and it turns out to be a flop. And on the other way, you don't have much hopes for a certain product and it turns out to be much larger success. Uh, did those happen with you?
I hope it will in the future.
Which one? The flop or the success?
Success, great success.
Okay. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. It was a pleasure.